Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to dive into something that's been bubbling under the surface but hasn't gotten nearly enough attention. The wave of research grant cancellations at Pitt. Now, I know what you're thinking, research grants, really? But stick with me because this isn't just about paperwork and funding. It's about the bigger picture of how we value innovation, education, and the future of discovery. Personally, I think this is one of those stories that, if you take a step back and think about it, reveals a lot about where our priorities lie as a society. First off, let's set the stage. Pitt, like many universities, relies heavily on research grants to fuel its academic and scientific endeavors. These grants aren't just about keeping labs running. They're about pushing the boundaries of knowledge, training the next generation of thinkers, and solving real-world problems. But here's the kicker. These cancellations aren't happening in a vacuum. They're part of a broader trend where funding for research, especially in fields like climate science, medicine, and technology, is being slashed or delayed. What makes this really interesting is that it's happening at a time when we need innovation more than ever. If you ask me, this raises a deeper question. Are we shooting ourselves in the foot by underfunding the very thing that could help us tackle global challenges? One thing that immediately stands out is the ripple effect of these cancellations. It's not just about the researchers whose projects are on hold. Think about the grad students who rely on these grants for their stipends, the lab technicians whose jobs are at risk, and the communities that benefit from the discoveries made possible by this funding. What many people don't realize is that research grants are the lifeblood of academic institutions. They're not just about publishing papers, they're about creating opportunities, driving economic growth, and fostering a culture of curiosity. From my perspective, cutting these grants feels like cutting off oxygen to a system that's already struggling to breathe. Now let's talk about why this is happening. Is it purely a budget issue? Partly, yes. But I think there's more to it. In my opinion, there's a growing skepticism toward the value of research, especially in fields that don't yield immediate, tangible results. Climate science, for example, often gets dismissed as too theoretical or too political. But here's the thing. The breakthroughs we need, whether it's curing diseases, combating climate change, or advancing technology, don't happen overnight. They require sustained investment and patience. What this really suggests is that we're losing sight of the long game. We're prioritizing short-term gains over long-term progress, and that's a dangerous path to be on. A detail I find fascinating is how this connects to a bigger trend in higher education. Universities are under more pressure than ever to justify their costs and prove their worth. But when you start treating education and research like a business, something gets lost. The pursuit of knowledge for its own sake, the kind of curiosity-driven research that led to discoveries like penicillin or the internet, starts to take a back seat. Personally, I think this is a huge mistake. If we only fund research that promises immediate returns, we're limiting our potential to solve problems we haven't even imagined yet. So where does this leave us? Well, for one, it's a wake-up call. We need to have a serious conversation about how we fund research and why it matters. It's not just about saving a few grants at Pitt, it's about rethinking our approach to innovation as a whole. What if, instead of cutting funding, we doubled down on it? What if we treated research as a public good, not just a line item in a budget? These are the questions we need to be asking. As I wrap this up, I'll leave you with this thought. Research isn't just about the people in lab coats. It's about all of us. It's about the medicines we take, the technology we use, and the planet we're trying to save. So, the next time you hear about research grants being canceled, don't just brush it off. Think about what it means for the future, our future. Because if we're not investing in discovery today, what are we really investing in? Thanks for watching, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Are we undervaluing research? What can we do to change this? Let's keep the conversation going. See you in the next one.